Right now, we're in the beginning stages of a potentially long battle between the WNBA and their entitled players. As is often the case, the battle is over money. One side is the beneficiary of millions of dollars in donations from the NBA and other subsidizers, while the other side, they have never seen a comma in their bank balance unless it was being used to demonstrate how much they have overdrawn. Like I told you guys the other day, these negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, this is going to be tough. And some WNBA players, they are making it more difficult because their intentions, their credibility is being questioned.
According to the WNBA, cooperation makes the dream come true. As it turns out, they meant working together to oppose the league. Yes, like a layup that was missed in overtime, rumors are circulating. Allegedly, players conspired to cause mayhem throughout the 2026 season. Is this a power move, a protest, or just the league's version of reality TV? The drama is hotter than courtside nachos, whatever it is. Buckle up, because this might be the most entertaining part of the WNBA season, and it hasn't even started.
I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I want it to work out, but America's dumbest league keeps being dumb. You know, they want to go, and I don't blame them, I suppose, the WNBA, from 0 to 1,000. But what they went from was from 0 to Caitlin Clark, and they don't understand it. I'm going to get into Carolyn Peck in a minute. The dumbest league strikes again. Several high-profile WNBA players have begun to openly call out the league's office and commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, as they should, but it shouldn't be them. It should be Caitlin Clark calling it out, to voice their displeasure with the league's initial CBA offer, calling it a slap in the face.
We are witnessing a professional sports league slide, like it's trying out for a low-budget soap drama, just when you thought things couldn't get much messier. The WNBA isn't just a basketball league anymore. It serves as an example of how to openly undermine yourself, alienate your fan base, and perplex your viewers. Previously, the court was utilized for competition.
It seems as if this is the week the WNBA players decided, you know what? July 4th week, we are going to start playing out these CBA negotiations in the court of public opinion. We're going to air our grievances. Every time we get in front of a camera, we're going to complain, we're going to whine, and then hopefully enough fans, enough supporters are going to get on our side and start holding up their pitchforks and torches, marching at the door of Kathy Engelbert, screaming at the owners, "We want more money, we want more money."
It's now for mid-level showmanship, virtual signaling, and officials who may be tossing coins in the locker room prior to each call. What precisely are we viewing here? Let's face it. For one thing, it's definitely not what a clean, elite professional basketball fan has signed up for. No, we've entered a realm where a weird checklist of hashtags, slogans, and press conference poetry has taken the place of business rationality.
Ooh, the shots are firing in the WNBA dump. It's the diva of dump divas, Kat Engelbert, against entitled WNBA players. It's the woman who controls all the money that was generously donated by the NBA against delusional dump divers who think they deserve the money even though they have failed to generate a Vietnamese dong in profit. It's entirely possible that there are other dongs in the WNBA. They're just not in the form of profitable currency.
People aren't watching a TED presentation about feelings during the half. They are receiving drama that feels like a group project where everyone believes they are in charge and no one actually read the assignment. Even if they want buckets, rivalries, buzzer beers, and something that at least vaguely resembles professional sports.
The WNBA players have opted out of their current collective bargaining agreement and face the prospect of a work stoppage. The players are absolutely right. They only get 10% of basketball-related income compared to the 50% that the NBA players get. Players citing higher television ratings, attendance figures, franchise values as the reason for opting out. Now, wait a damn minute. Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. That doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. Caitlin Clark, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line.
And can we just pause and unpack the refs for a minute? These folks are supposed to be the impartial guardians of fairness on the court, yet some of them whistle like they've got secret team colors hidden beneath the stripes. Blink funny? That's a tech. Exhale too close to a star? That's a flagrant. Meanwhile, real elbows and spinning limbs get treated like modern dance pieces. This isn't officiating. It's interpretive theater. The WNBA, somehow, has managed to make every single thing around the game louder than the actual basketball. The front office talks like a corporate policy manual. Post-game interviews sound like cryptic TED Talks. The league socials are split evenly between highlight reels and kindergarten-style empathy reminders. At some point, someone has to say it plain. The WNBA doesn't need a shiny motto. It needs a full system reboot. Strip it down to bare bones and rebuild with a singular focus. The business. Not hashtags. Not moral high ground. Not manufactured group hugs. Just ruthless, market-first, win-obsessed professionalism. A league where the game itself is the crown jewel, where skill outshines slogans, and where what happens between the lines matters more than curated Instagram virtue signaling. Right now, you'd be forgiven for asking, what is this league's real mission? Is it trying to go toe-to-toe with other pro leagues? Is it an activist stage with a scoreboard? Or is it just a hangout with jerseys and vague vibes? Because you can't try to be everybody's everything and still stand tall as a legitimate sports league. The NBA isn't doing group therapy in the tunnel before warm-ups. The NFL isn't second-guessing if a tackle might dent someone's self-esteem. If the W wants to be taken seriously, it's time to drop the slogans and double down on the scoreboard.
Bad news. Bad news. Breanna Stewart basically confirms they're not getting anything they want in the CBA. The CBA offer is a joke, a slap in the face, a spit in the face, and the players will go on strike. They're going to go on strike, y'all. This is happening. I think this is going to come to a crashing head here.
But the WNBA, it's tangled itself so deep in identity banners and ideological stage shows that even the loyal diehards are shrugging, palms up, mumbling, well, I gave it a shot. You want real expansion? Run the WNBA like an actual business. Slice out the filler. Polish the product. Start moving like a league hungry for profit and diehard fans. Not digital pats on the back from internet echo chambers. People fork over their time, cash, and attention because they crave entertainment, not moral sermons. They want fire-breathing rivalries, not carefully scripted unity strolls. They want cutthroat battles, not feel-good theater in sneakers. Picture a WNBA where raw skill rules all, where headlines come naturally, not by PR force feed, where the biggest stars are stars because they dominate the court, not because they deliver safe sound bites on late-night panels, where officials get called out when they blow it, and outcomes are driven by real hustle, not whistles that feel drafted by an over-caffeinated chatbot binge-watching daytime soaps. Picture coaches who coach with spine, not force a tiptoe through ideological landmines every time out. Players who trash talk, bleed for wins, and don't have to wrap every hard foul with a sanitized brand-approved tagline. Announcers who can actually analyze without fear of next-day retractions. Fans who can just be fans, not feel like they're being monitored for enjoying it wrong. Want growth? Make the product king. Let the game roar louder than hashtags. Give people a reason to care about the scoreboard again, not the slogans taped on top of it.
They're saying, oh, yeah, sure, here. You want my watch too? Here's my necklace. You want my private jet? Yeah, take my private jet. You could go to Costa Rica. You could go to Turks and Caicos. I'm not sure what the players are expecting. I just hope that they understand that they're at a negotiation table across from sharks. Not minnows, not guppies, not goldfish you flush down the toilet when you forget to feed them for a few days. They're across from sharks. They swim in the waters and they smell blood when it comes to the WNBA Players Association, and they smell blood especially when they see how they've been treating the only player in the league that draws some moolah. They're like, oh no.
Let's be honest. Nobody pledges loyalty to a team because of catchy taglines. They stick around because that team fights tooth and nail, scraps for every rebound, and leaves sweat on the floor for the win. That's the heartbeat of real sports. But the WNBA right now, it feels like it was brainstormed in a campus break room instead of forged in a locker room. It's the only league where you can torch the scoreboard for 30 and still get eclipsed by someone's monologue about the moral failings of parking lots. Sure, we all know social topics matter. But when activism eclipses athleticism, you don't have a sports league anymore. You've got a think tank and high tops. It's not that fans hate players having stances. They just didn't shell out for courtside seats to watch a symposium. They came to watch gritty basketball. There's a reason other pro leagues don't bury themselves in constant cause marketing. It doesn't move tickets. It doesn't build rivalries. It pushes away more fans than it pulls in. And for a league that badly needs more eyeballs on screens and butts in seats, that's not just clumsy, it's sabotage. You can't expand your fan base while turning the product into a gated club for the like-minded. Sooner or later, someone upstairs
But the market
needs to
will
stop
speak,
pretending.
just like it did
This
with those Kobe
blueprint
PEs that's
is failing. The crowds aren't small because the world's full of bigots. They're small because the on-court product isn't magnetic enough to cut through the noise. Fix the real stuff. Deliver high-level hoops. Clean up the officiating circus. Fuel genuine rivalries and entertain like it actually matters. Do that, and people will come for the basketball, not the lecture series.
NBA has been telling you for a while that they're big and they're good and they're strong and they're worth money. And I've been telling you for a while that looking at their TV rights and using that as the sole example of the health of the WNBA is completely wrong to do. That was a pegged number from the full NBA deal. There's one group of people in the WNBA who don't yet quite realize that the owners of the WNBA in no way feel rich or lucky at the moment. They feel like they've got some momentum.
If the WNBA wants to stick around, it needs to drop the slogans. Scrap the endless roundtables. Ditch the 10-step manifestos typed out in Comic Sans like they're motivational posters in a break room. Start treating basketball like it's actually worth watching on its own steam. Hire refs who can tell the difference between a foul and interpretive flailing. Fuel rivalries that spark real emotion, not polite applause. Spotlight stars who dominate between the lines, not just the ones who can give a safe, bland interview. Or if that's too much heavy lifting, just scrap the whole thing and rebuild from scratch with people who aren't allergic to winning. People who get that a sports league is a business, not an after-school club with customized warm-ups and virtue slogans. A business sells a product, and the product is hoops, not hashtags. Until that clicks, fans will keep drifting, viewership will keep cratering, and everyone on the payroll will keep feigning shock as the league slides from underdog to internet punchline. And let's not kid ourselves. It's already halfway there. The WNBA is morphing into a meme as we speak. And not the funny kind that moves jerseys off shelves, but the sad kind that echoes through empty seats. Here's the awkward truth no one at League HQ wants to slap on a PowerPoint. Take Caitlin Clark out of the picture, and the WNBA is about as riveting as a 2-hour root canal live stream. This entire operation is being kept afloat by a 22-year-old rookie who hasn't even finished hanging up her clothes in her new apartment. She is the glue, the spark, the highlight reel, the ratings boost, the merch table, and half the news cycle, all rolled into one jump shot.
They haven't made $1 with y'all, and y'all keep asking for more and more and more. Let's see what Breanna Stewart had to say about the CBA negotiation. She said, I'm absolutely frustrated. Anytime you go back and forth, you're not expecting to hear that yes on the first proposal, but you're expecting to have a conversation. They just kind of ignored everything we say. My bad. I'm not supposed to lie. My bad. Hey, these owners getting disrespectful out here. They get disrespectful. They just ignoring y'all? Oh, man. Y'all thought Caitlin Clark was going to save this shit. Oh, my God.
Take her out of the picture. And what's left? A league wheezing for relevance while pretending it's not 99% reliant on one player to keep the scoreboard and the power bill alive. And no, that's not hyperbole. Just check the receipts. Look at the arenas. Packed to rafters when Caitlin's on the court, tumbleweeds and yawns when she's not. Watch the TV rating spike like a heart monitor on triple espresso every time she laces up. These numbers aren't just up. Everywhere else they're flatlining, then throwing themselves a victory parade the second she hits the floor. This isn't a mild uptick. It's a viewership canyon, so wide you could build a resort at the bottom. Without Caitlin, the WNBA isn't limping. It's vanishing, and the people running the show know it. That's why they're clinging to her like she's the last lifeboat on a sinking cruise ship. The kicker? They're milking every ounce of her star power, but doing next to nothing to shield that value. You'd think if one rookie was single-handedly propping up ticket sales, merch drops, media buzz, and broadcast numbers, the league would roll out a velvet throne for her every night. Instead, she's treated like some party crasher who wandered into the wrong banquet hall. Think about how backwards that is. You've got a once-in-a-generation cash magnet accidentally saving an entire brand from fading into punchline status. And the vibe from the locker room is basically, wait, who said she could sit here?
This CBA is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yep.
We've been talking about that. Absolute disgrace. First of all, it's so esoteric. There's no way the average fan can process any of this or really understand it. But also, you think about the Celtics. They did it the right way.
Yes.
They built the team through the draft and shrewd trades. This is not some super team where a bunch of guys ganged up. And now they have to dismantle the team. Why? Because there's other teams that aren't as smart and there's other owners that are lazy and cheap. This is what the league is doing now? It makes no sense. It's not good for the Celtics. I also don't think it's good for the product.
If this league had even a teaspoon of business instinct, they'd be carving a statue of her out front, naming a whole division after her, and wild idea, making sure she doesn't get body slammed every other night. Instead, she's out there absorbing cheap shots like a crash test dummy, while the refs stand around acting like they've misplaced their glasses. So now here we are, staring down the barrel of the 2026 season with one big, sweaty palm question mark. Will there even be one? Because this isn't just about dipping ratings or awkward podium moments anymore. It's about whether there'll be anything left worth saving when the dust settles. And the wildest part? Everyone's dancing around the truth, like it's some unspeakable secret, as if there's an enchanted ratings genie hiding backstage, sprinkling magic dust. No. There's no secret. There's Caitlin. She is the phenomenon. She is the draw. She is the reason random casuals finally give a damn about the WNBA. And what's she getting for single-handedly dragging an entire league back from the edge of oblivion? Not thanks, but hard foul side eyes and a weird cold shoulder from people who don't seem to grasp that she's the only reason the checks are still clearing.
Here's the deal, guys. The WNBA is having a moment right now. We see record crowds, we see record ratings. The biggest stars in women's basketball that we've ever seen are taking the court night in and night out. But here's the thing. While the game is thriving on the court, well, off the court, there is a battle that really could change everything. Right now, the league and its players are locked in tense negotiations over a new collective bargaining agreement, which is the deal that governs just about everything. Salaries, roster, size, travel, licensing rights, you name it, it covers it.
So here's the reality check. Nothing shifts unless the players themselves shove it into motion. The commissioner isn't about to wake up from her PR snooze fest by choice.
The refs were paid.
The front office won't suddenly sprout a backbone while sipping overpriced oat milk lattes in their conference rooms. They'll coast on autopilot until the wheels come off, because that's what they've always done. The only thing that'll ever spark real change is action, not the hashtag kind, but the kind that scorches the earth and leaves no comfy fence to sit on. What this league really needs is a strike, not some polite, symbolic day off or a photo op, but full-force, union-backed, season-freezing, headline-hijacking stoppage that shakes the foundation from the inside out. Sound extreme? Well, so is the status quo. The silence is louder than a sold-out arena. The commissioner's statements read like they were auto-generated by a half-asleep bot. There's no urgency, no spine, just fuzzy buzzwords about growing the game, while the league's biggest draw is out here getting hip-checked into an early retirement before she's even had time to decorate her first apartment. Picture this instead. The players stand up and say enough, not just to the cameras, but with real teeth, demanding competent officiating. Demanding that all players, including the one single-handedly filling the seats, get fair protection. calling for a league run like a professional business, not a feel-good branding experiment. More grit, less group hug, more real basketball, fewer empty slogans dressed up as virtue campaigns. If they don't force it, nothing changes. And the clock's already ticking.
Our collective bargaining operation is a slap in the face and the polar opposite of player union requests. Wait a second. The polar opposite, that means if you ask for $1,000, they want you to pay for $1,000. See what I'm saying here? If they want to give you $5,000 in benefits, the polar opposite would mean they want you to pay $5,000 in benefits. I don't think they're using proper language here.
Just picture that kind of stand. It wouldn't just force the league to finally squint into the mirror. It'd earn back the respect of fans who are sick to death of empty virtue signals and PR theater dressed up as progress. Players have way more leverage than they realize. Without them, this league is dust. No talent, no time, no sweat on the court. This fragile circus folds overnight. Yet somehow, too many are out here playing defense for a system that doesn't even pretend to care about their actual well-being. This stopped being about pay gaps ages ago. This is about basic respect. About whether a pro league wants to be taken seriously or keep cosplaying as a TED Talk in jerseys. It's no fluke that the cracks are showing just as the spotlight finally showed up. You can't put dysfunction on a bigger stage and expect it to magically clean itself up. You fix it or it eats you alive. But the folks steering this ship, they're acting like Caitlin Clark walking away would be a small hiccup, not the asteroid that wipes the whole dinosaur park off the map. The WNBA isn't wobbling into some rough patch. It's steamrolling toward a showdown. A collapse is brewing if the players don't slam on the brakes and force the fix that the suits clearly have no stomach to handle on their own. Everyone sees it. The system's busted. The fans know. The press knows. The only ones pretending not to notice are the people too busy cashing paychecks to admit they've driven the bus straight into a brick wall. Caitlin Clark didn't solve the crisis. She bought the league a few precious borrowed moments. And when that clock runs out, it's game over unless the players decide otherwise.
But players aren't seeing enough of it, or at least in their opinion, they're not seeing enough of it. So, how did we get here? Let's talk about the history of WNBA CBAs. Now, this fight did not start overnight. It's been building for decades. When the WNBA tipped off in 1997, players had no real bargaining power. There was no union, no guaranteed contracts. Even star players made under $50,000 in their first year.
But she didn't sign up to haul this whole league on her shoulders while getting cheap shot, disrespected, and turned into a convenient punching bag every time her spotlight burns brighter than someone else's. If she walks, the illusion evaporates, and the league, as we know it, might not crawl out of the wreckage. That's exactly why the players can't sit around waiting for someone's blessing. They need to grab the wheel and draft their own rules. Want a league that treats you like pros? Demand it. Want fairness? Don't just wish for it. Force it. Want a real future for women's hoops that doesn't rest on one rookie keeping the lights on? Build it yourselves, because the people at the top clearly won't. Without a real push, this entire house of cards is one ugly foul away from total collapse. And when that moment hits, no press release, no carefully worded tweet, no shiny feel-good ad is going to slap duct tape over the crater. Either the player sees control now, or they'll be the one stuck flipping the lights off when the last buzzer sounds.